Hey everyone, TimaeuSS. Welcome to another NIKKE video. So this is my guide on top 5 mistakes you should avoid. And to be frank, I actually made the first mistake myself. And so I do want to apologize for that because in my top 5 tips, I recommend people to level their attacker. And then once that attacker reaches the threshold where you have to level the other units, you have to keep them leveled up as well. However, this is not the case. Okay, so this is my number 1 mistake, is you actually should try to evenly upgrade your units, because that will allow you to push further in most cases. So when I was doing the testing on the testing server, I did the attacker push, but someone in the comments let me know that because I had Scarlet as one of my main DPS when I was doing testing, pushing Scarlet further ahead is exponential in terms of the return. So for most players, and actually I'm just going to use that as, you know, the number 1 mistake in this video, and for most players, please evenly upgrade your units, which means that if you go to squad, you want to keep everyone around the same level, and so they share, you know, the same, at least like 60, or if they're, you know, 60 something, 70 something, they're around the same level. Okay, don't push your attacker to the highest. It's not ideal in most cases, so I do apologize for that. And I think yesterday someone in the comment section on my live stream called me out as well, so I want to specifically apologize to you. I'm sorry. You were right. I did the testing after that and confirmed what you were saying, so I do apologize. Okay, so this is the first mistake, and I have made the mistake myself as well. Now the second mistake that people make is skill upgrades. Actually, it's a question that people ask a lot, you know, because you can reset everything. So similarly, in the first mistake, if you already upgrade your attacker, you can reset it for 10 gems. So I reset my Scarlet because she was 80, and I spread it evenly and allowed me to push further, right? But the only thing you cannot reset are the skills at the moment. Okay, so you cannot reset the investment you put in for the skills. They cost currency that is obtained from the simulation room, so you cannot reset that. So you really have to invest carefully. And I would say, due to the nature of the SSRs and the SRs, you don't want to invest in the skill upgrades of the SRs at all. So focus on your SSRs. So that is the second mistake people should avoid, is skill upgrading units that you may not use in the end game. The other one is don't use sweep boxes too early. So what are sweep boxes? If you go to inventory and go to consume, you should have a lot of these boxes, like the data set. Basically, it says 1 hour, which means the game will fast forward an hour and earn you the resources relevant to what's displayed here. So this is a data set, a battle data set box, which means that if I use one, it'll give me an hour's worth of data set, right? So a lot of people, they use this early. I've had people who think the hour thing is when it expires. So you really want to use this when you're super stuck, okay? And when you're super stuck, that means you have watched my progression don't get stuck video. You have attempted the other game modes, the towers, because they give resources as well. You've attempted and upgraded everything else, and the last resort is to use those boxes, because the later you use them, the higher the upgrade they'll provide. All right, and this segues to the fourth mistake. Don't use these boxes until you've upgraded everything from the Tactics Academy. So this is something that people didn't do a lot. If you look at your outpost, okay, your outpost output is actually buffed by your Tactics Academy. So let's look at the outpost. It's gonna, like, yeah, so you can see that your outpost, and I think there is a way to check. Yeah, here. So this is your tactics. I haven't fully upgraded my tactics, and I'll make a separate video on how to upgrade tactics, but long story short, you pick up relics, lost relics in the story, and you get all of these buffs, and you unlock these buffs by going into the Tactics Academy and upgrading them using the lost relics. And a lot of them are going to be hidden behind things such as buildings, such as the hospital. So the hospital, again, is something you can pick up and unlock in the later stages, and I have picked up the blueprint. So I'll have a separate video because it's going to involve find the relics, where to find them, all the stuff involved in that. But don't sweep and don't use wipeout until you reach pretty much the last minute or the last hour of your day, where you know you've progressed the furthest you can and you have collected every single relic along your progression so far and upgrade your tactics academy. It's very important because the buff it provides is quite significant and it adds up, especially if you're trying to sweep. So that's the fourth mistake that people make. All right, the last mistake that I'm going to share with you guys is actually something I talked about previously, but again, someone on stream asked me about it. It's the poll system in the wish list. So I've seen comments regarding, should we poll right now? You can see that I saved about 40,000 gems, almost 40,000 gems, and I'm debating whether or not I should be polling because we don't have a rate up banner just now, but we know there is rate up banner data somewhere. It's being leaked, and there should be a pickup banner. We just don't know if the gems are usable in the pickup banner or how we're going to obtain the pickup tickets. However, I will probably save a good portion of my gems for the pickup rate because it should have pity and it will be able to gain or build a unit much faster and stronger than the ordinary pool, which is much more diluted. However, for those of you that are polling, after 40, and if you're polling with tickets, you absolutely need to set up your wish list, okay? The wish list is very important, as I talked about in the other video. You have to set all 15. Even if you're missing one, it's going to tell you that basically all the recruitment bonus will not be applied. So you either set 15 or set none because that's the same thing. And you want to pick units that you either have, you like, or meta because after you pick these units, all of the non-pilgrim pulls that you pull will be from these units that you have selected. So it's a good opportunity to get meta units from these three lines, these three factions, and also to push units above and beyond their dupe levels. So because, for example, I have Litter, I want to have Litter, who is also SS in this wish list, so can pull her and then upgrade her and dupe her to increase the limit break for level cap. Okay, but if you look at the rate information, a lot of people think that the Pilgrims, which is the faction with the strongest units, their percentage will change if you do wish list and they won't appear. So I'll show you right now. It's 0.08, okay, with the wish list active, and it's going to exclude the non-wish wish list units. However, if I take off the wish list unit, it's going to change the rate for everyone else because now everyone's recruited, but the Pilgrims units, they remain at 0.08. Okay, so always have a wish list. It doesn't change your Scarlet or your other pulls for the Pilgrims, but it basically allows you to focus on the other SSRs. All right, so anyhow, those are 5 mistakes. And again, you learn from your mistakes like I have, and hopefully this will be helpful. And I'll see you guys in the next video.